tell us how much Pat did? Was he full? Was he limited? How much Pat did, and how he looked when he was out there as well?
Yeah, so he looked good. He's just he's in the protocol, so there's only certain things he can do, and and it's a limited basis. But today is a little bit limited practice, so this fit right into what he could do, and but he took all the snaps, and he feels good. So I mean, we're just going to follow this protocol as close as we possibly can.
Does anything really change offensively in terms of the game planning with Patrick in the protocol and obviously Chad going through most of the reps, or does it mostly stay the same?
Yeah, when Chad was in the game, we didn't have to really change much, so that was a plus, and so we're just leaving it the way we do. Chad's comfortable with it, and he feels that he can handle that if needed. So I think that's all well there.
According to the injury report posted at the Chiefs website, Patrick Mahomes was limited in practice with a concussion/toe injury, and we knew there was a toe problem. We saw that. He was favoring the foot before he exited the game with the concussion. He's in the protocol, and I'm always confused by this. You can be in the protocol without actually having a concussion. You still have to pass the protocol, even if you didn't have a full-blown concussion. And it's all very amorphous and vague, and there isn't a whole lot of transparency. The bottom line is he needs to be cleared, whether he had an actual concussion or not. I've seen all sorts of speculation that it was some sort of a neck thing, and it created a nerve issue, and that's why he's in the concussion protocol. It doesn't matter. He doesn't play. He doesn't qualify for contact practice until he can clear that protocol, Charean. And look, I think that the toe is something I'd be more concerned about at this point. I have no doubt he's going to play on Sunday. I have no doubt that all appropriate boxes will be checked and he will be cleared to play. I would be stunned, beyond stunned, if he's not cleared because of the concussion. I want to see how he moves with that toe, and I want to see if that restricts his game in any way, because it sure looked like it was affecting him between plays, and it felt like it was just a matter of time before it looked like it was going to affect him during plays.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. Initially, I was worried about the concussion. It's a 5-step process, and Andy Reid didn't address where exactly Patrick Mahomes was in that process. And initially, they did list him as a full participant, and now apparently have changed that to limited. And I think they realized you can't be a full participant unless you've been cleared from concussion protocol. So obviously that hasn't happened, but we do expect him to play. He has not had symptoms of a concussion. Andy Reid said that. So that's not going to be the problem. I'm with you. I think the toe injury could be the bigger problem. How well is he going to move? We know that's a big part of his game. And last time they played the Bills, he rushed for over 30 yards in that game and was very effective moving around in the pocket, as he always is. But how much is that going to limit him? We saw him limping a lot. And I know Andy Reid blew off that injury on Monday, but I still think it could be a factor, Mike. And it could be a factor from the fact that he's not going to get a ton, probably, of practice time this week because of that toe. I would expect him to be limited all week, whether it is the concussion or the toe or both.
The official injury report distributed by the NFL also has Mahomes listed as limited in practice. But just by way of an example as to how what ends up on the website can be different from the official report, I'll give you an example that it just jumped right out to me. On the Chiefs website, they've got the Chiefs injuries and the Bills injuries, and it shows Stephon Diggs did not practice with an oblique injury. The email from the league shows that Stephon Diggs was limited in practice with an oblique injury. So may I just make a friendly suggestion? Get your act together, NFL and teams. This is fairly important information on which people rely. How hard is it? It's either did not practice, limited, or full. It ain't that difficult. And I see these mistakes all the time. There was a weird injury report last week on the Saints website on Friday that had Michael Thomas is out. And it's like, he's not even on the injury report this week. So I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I'm surprised there isn't more of an outcry because people are relying on this information, especially when it comes to deciding who they're going to bet on or not bet on in a given game. So to borrow a phrase from a guy that I really don't think much of personally, Mike Gundy, get your facts straight, NFL. All right. The other thing that I wonder about the Chiefs and this Patrick Mahomes situation, Charean, is that will they let him run? Will they design runs? Will he choose not to run if no one's open because of the toe and because of the, hey, I just had a concussion last week? So I don't think Mahomes is going to restrict himself in any way. I don't know if Andy Reid will restrict Patrick Mahomes as a runner, but I think that's something that if I'm the Bills, Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator, or Sean McDermott, the head coach, I'm wondering as I budget my resources, my 11 guys, how in tune are they going to be to the possibility of Mahomes running, or are we going to assume he's not going to run because of those injuries?
I'm going after him, Mike. I'm going after him early. If he hits a big one to Tyreek Hill, so be it. I mean, the Chiefs are going to score points. This is going to be a high-scoring game, we all expect. So if they hit the big one early and he gets out of there, if he runs early or whatever the case may be, and you figure out that toe's okay and the concussion is fine and he's going to do what he needs to do, then okay, then maybe I change my game plan a little bit. But initially, Mike, I'm going after him. I'm blitzing him. I'm trying to get to him early and see what I can do with him under duress.
Yeah, look, I agree with you completely, and I know that there'll be Chiefs fans that don't want to hear that, but that's football. And I know that I created a little bit of a mess last year when I suggested, after seeing him weave through all those Titans players who didn't know what they could and couldn't do and were fearful of doing something that would get them flagged for 15 yards. And we see quarterbacks flop now and admit that they flopped, like Lamar Jackson during the season. And how about Josh Allen? Josh Allen can play himself in the Josh Allen story, the acting quality that we saw when he flopped and drew a 15-yard foul. So hey, once you become a runner, all bets are off. You're no different than Marshawn Lynch or any other NFL running back that's ever played, and that's where these guys need to be coached, not with an intent to injure, but if you can't take advantage of the rules that way, and you can't kind of pretend that the bubble that exists around a quarterback in the pocket exists when he decides to become a runner. And it'll be interesting to see whether and to what extent the Chiefs take advantage or not of the rules that protect a quarterback, because I don't think the Bills defense is going to be looking to go easy on Patrick Mahomes under the circumstances.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.